If you get the wealth, there's a lot of rooms that are still going to be closed to you unless you know how to operate with it and what the rules are to the new league.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
The wealth is half of the equation. The wealth is the armor. It can protect you. It's not an ought. It can be, but for the most part, learning the rules to the game is the weapon, because you can finesse your way through and get to the money if you got the rules. If you get the wealth, there's a lot of rooms that are still going to be closed to you unless you know how to operate with it and what the rules are to the new league. So it's like going from playing little league football to going to play high school. It's still football, it's still business, but the rules are changed. Oh, I can now hit you. It's not just, wrap them up and that's it. No, I can hit you for real, and so that's it with business. As you get that wealth, there's new rules to how you engage and how you have to navigate, and I hear it all the time from people who now have accomplished a lot in business financially. Is, oh, why won't they let me in this room? Well, it's because you're still moving this way. You got to pivot a little bit and understand to operate in that arena. You got to change up. You got to stay authentic to yourself, but understand that things are a little bit different in different rooms. So getting the game is the other half that comes along with the generational wealth, where it's not just about the money.
Well, what are the rules? How do you get in the game? Tell me.
If I could piggyback on Terrell's comments, and I think once you have that wealth, what happens is they don't know how to manage it. And we think just acquiring more things is to show the world, hey, I've made it, and it goes beyond that. So in addition to an attorney and an accountant, you need an advisor to say, hey, you know what? This is only going to last you so much time, and if you want to pass it on down the line, then it's like, okay, we're going to set some aside for the future and invest this money, whether it's back into the business or into the next generation. But it's understanding and having those, it's really who you surround yourself with is really the key. And it's that circle of trusted, and that's the key word, the trusted advisors who are looking out for your best interests and making sure you not only survive, but you thrive and sustain it going into the future.
You also cannot negate the fact that one of the biggest rules in this game is never operating off of self-funding. Always trying to figure out how to get other people's money when it comes to, not chasing your behind, in this. I think that that's another key thing where some people might be afraid of going into debt. Some people might be afraid of, what it'll look like to have a loan.
Or thinking debt's a bad thing.
What?
Not all debt is bad.
Right.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So changing the narrative on that's one of the biggest. That's one of the
Make sure
biggest
that's on the
rules in this
record.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I was cracking up. I was talking to my brother because I think I might have talked to you about this. Good debt. There's good debt, and I'm just one of them people. I don't know if it's just how I was raised or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't want to borrow no money. Like, I'm just gonna work extra hard and make some money. And it didn't take for about a couple years, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, maybe I will do this. But traditionally, it was the way I was brought up is, you don't borrow anything. Most of my family members hate to borrow money except for my son. I got to put an interest rate on him. But it was just the way I was brought up. So it was an uncomfortable thought for me to be like, and we got, our books are in order, we have a track record, we have like everything that would be okay to go in and have a conversation. But it was just that, oh man, I don't want to be borrowing no money, like that. And so that's one of the things too. And so you're not used to that. You just don't want to go in debt. You know what I mean? You don't, you just kind of, and you have the mojo like, well, I did start this, and and there's reserves in the bank account, and I can pay myself now that I don't need it. Until you kind of think about it like, yeah, maybe I do need to, working capital, if you will, or some like investments and stuff. So sometimes it's just the way you're brought up. Like,
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.